It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. You know, the polls are in, folks. I got to be honest with you. As I started looking around the world, there's a contest going on. Everybody knows the contest. We got the A3, the incumbent A3, and they're being challenged by the A4. And I got to be honest with you, the polls are not looking good. They're not looking good for the incumbent A3. And so today I thought I would get on my ClearTouch interactive board. I got my magic pen in my hand. I'm going to share with the world what's going on with these polls because they're staggering when you start looking at this, my friends. So let's pull up the map without any further ado. I got to get my pen over here working. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what's going on. I've been to Asia. My friends at RT Media invited me there, a couple of different times. I spoke to the audiences. You know what I didn't see there? I didn't see any 11 by 17 paper the whole time I was there. That's one indicator that there could be a problem with the big A3 machines. And then we've noticed with the Asian manufacturers, guess what? Kind of interesting. All the growth in their manufacturing is coming out of A4, not A3. So I got to be honest with you, there's something going on there. They don't like A3 paper maybe. You know what, folks? It's safe to say that all of Asia is in the A4 column. It's there. I went down to Australia in January of this year. Got out there just in time. Visiting with my friends at Lexmark, having a big meeting, talking to dealers, talking to the DSMs for Lexmark in that marketplace. You know what I did not see anywhere? 11 by 17 paper. Didn't see it anywhere. All the handouts Lexmark had, well, guess what? They were digital. There was a couple sheets of paper laying around, but it wasn't that big giant paper. Australia, because I was there, I witnessed it firsthand, is in the A4 column. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa. Again, my good friends at RT Media brought me to Cairo a couple of years ago. Very exciting time. Gave my presentation, and then I got in a car. I went out to the pyramids, rode the camel, did a lot of things that you do when you're in Cairo. Went to the gold, museum and got some incense. Rode the camel, went in the pyramid, did all that good stuff. Did not see one sheet of 11 by 17 anywhere at all. Safe to say that whole continent is in the A4 column. Europe's kind of condensed. They don't even have room for 11 by 17 paper. I mean, let's be honest. They're piled up on top of each other in Europe. So, you know what? Another witness, firsthand. I was there, went to Portugal, sitting on the beach. I was eating lunch with my wife. There wasn't even an 11 by 17 menu. Before the virus, we used the menu on the iPhone. Can you believe that? They were way ahead of their time. I got to be honest with you. Europe, they're ahead. It's in the A4 column. As you can clearly see, the world is really moving A4. There's not a whole lot that can happen with A3. The A3, they're probably in trouble. Their relevance is really in trouble. Antarctica. Does anybody believe for 1 minute that a penguin's going to hold up a big giant sheet of 11 by 17 paper? No, they're not. They probably use statement paper. I'm putting them in the A4 column. Ladies and gentlemen, North America. I've lived in a few cities in North America. Midwest, South. Spent some time down in Florida. You know what? If anybody was going to do 11 by 17 paper, it'd be the folks in Florida. That's where all the old people live. That's where they go to retire. I mean, when they go to church, they got to read the bulletin. They want to print it really big. Well, you know what they figured out? I mean, hey, I got to be honest with you, folks. Technology isn't just for millennials and younger. These old folks are adapting. They're on Facebook. They figured out they could have that bulletin on their iPhone. They could take their fingers and blow it up and see how big they want it. It's phenomenal. They're not printing 11 by 17. I'm putting all of North America in the A4 column. South America, everybody's been to Cancun. I've been there. You've been there. We've all been there. Did we see an 11 by 17 paper anywhere? No. Went out on a jet ski, didn't see it out there. Went snorkeling, there was no starfish, reading off 11 by 17 paper. Folks, all of South America's in the A4 column. You can clearly see A3 doesn't have a chance in hell. They're done. Even up in the Arctic Circle, got some government experiments going on up there. They can't ship those big giant pieces of crap all the way to Arctic. They got to go in with A4. That's what they do, folks. In the bag. When you look at this map, it's obviously the poles are the poles. But it's showing a huge movement throughout the world, moving from A3 to A4. It's safe to say that A3 is pretty much on its last leg. But there has to be some data behind it, right? You can't just have a bunch of polls out there. Make no damn sense. So let's look at some data. I call my friend Wes McCarter from NextEra. He gave me some staggering data. Let me turn off my pen here. He gave me some staggering data, folks. Here's some A3s and A4s. We got an A3 population of 1,136,451 machines. Okay, in this little survey here. We got the average parts per call of 5963. We got the average parts and labor per month on those devices, $114.29. Ladies and gentlemen, do you realize that's about over 7,000 pages a month just to get $114 if you're at a penny and a half? And we know a lot of you out there like 0.008, 0.007. Maybe your friends at Konica are competing with you, so you got to go down to 0.005. Doesn't matter who the manufacturer competing with you is. That's what happens, driving the price right into the floor. But folks, if you look at the average calls per month on those A3s, this is an interesting statistic. Everybody's got to pay attention to it because it's describing why we're having this worldwide A4 momentum. It's 0.48 calls per month. 0.48 calls per month on the A3s. If you look at the A4s, some interesting information. The A4s, the average parts per month is 2627. Average parts, 2627. If you look at the average parts and labor per month, this is going to blow your mind. $15.09. You know why it's so low? Because the average calls per month are 0.13. Folks, it's like 3.5, 4 calls it takes on an A3. The A4 has 1. You're doing that many more calls on an A3 as opposed to an A4. That's why the maps show an A4 taking over the world, because customers don't give a crap about how good your service is every time you show up. Customers want to buy products that don't need you to show up. That's how they value their experience. And here's the other thing that everybody has to pay attention to. The more calls you have, the higher your cost per call is. It's common sense. So if you want to put money to your bottom line, dealer owners, wouldn't you rather have less calls on the devices? Every time you replace an A3 with an A4, guess what you do? You reduce service by 60 to 70%. That's a huge number. That's going right to your bottom line. So quit crying about, it costs more to put service on an A4. There's a lot of people got to do booklet finishers. I don't know why I made that funny voice, but I guess people make funny voices when they do stupid things. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to pay attention to this. You want to put money to the bottom line, you got to switch from A3 to A4. Clearly why the map's going that way. Let me give you a little bit more data. So here is the A4 new placements against A3, and this came from NextEra. And Wes gave me a snapshot from September of 2018 to September of 2020. Folks, you want to know why? You want to know why more and more people are buying A4, why it's sweeping the globe? It's because more and more A4s are going into the accounts than A3. A3 is the red line. Let's follow that red line. You know, back in 2018, I started that A4 revolution. A4 started going in those accounts. And we kept getting more in those accounts. It keeps going up in those accounts. It crossed the line, my friends. It crossed the line in like April this year. More A4s going in than A3s. Customers getting aware. They're putting stuff in their homes, maybe. Whatever they're doing. They're deciding those big giant A3s aren't worth the crap. They don't want them in their offices anymore. Now it's coming down a little bit. And the question everybody watching this has to ask themselves, are we going to sell more A3s than A4s? Are we going to defy logic? Are we going to defy the polls? Or are we going to live with the reality that A4 is the new normal that we're going to create? We're going to give our customers a better experience. We're going to reduce their service by 60 or 70%. That's what this is all about. That's why I beat up A3 a lot. That's why I talk about A3 and A4 a lot, because it's the reality of a new marketplace, and our dealer friends have to pay attention to this reality, or they're going to be substituted by those innovators who are paying attention to this reality. Because I got to be honest with you, my friends, those polls don't lie. You can see it clearly. And everyone watching this knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.